Okay, so by request, this is a mashing reference video. People have been asking me how I mash when I do speedruns of RPGs or any game for that matter. And I want to show you the two mashing techniques I use. The first one is a very basic one. I couple my middle finger and thumb. And the reason I use my thumb, I hold my thumb on my middle finger and use the edge of my middle finger to just do the following. And this is one that isn't necessarily as fast, but it's very comfortable to do. Now you can do this with just your middle finger, but the reason I use my thumb on my middle finger is because the idea of this mashing technique is that you want your middle finger to be moving as little as possible, so you don't want it coming up so much when you're mashing, so the thumb helps to keep it down. And the whole idea is that you're not wanting to move your wrist, you're not doing this. I use my whole arm rather than this. So that can get kind of exhausting, but you don't have to tense up your arm so much. It's not like you have to keep it super tight. And then an alternative one would be kind of just moving your thumb up and down, holding the back of the controller. But I don't find this as useful as with the previous problem being that your thumb comes up too much when you're mashing. But the second one that I use a lot, but this mashing technique is really only so useful for short instances of mashing. But this is a two-finger technique I use. I'm using both my thumbs on both hands. And let me kind of show you the premise of it first. So take your left thumb, we'll use the circle button as an example, and you hold the right hand side of the controller with your right hand, and use your hand to mash the button. So you're pretty much doing something like this. So this thumb isn't moving at all. You're using your right hand to do the mashing, which seems kind of impractical at first, but now you take your right thumb, and every time you would normally be moving the controller down, your right thumb is hitting the button at this time. So instead of doing this, you're doing this. Now notice my left thumb is not moving at all. And that's the whole thing. You're letting your right hand do the work still. So pretty much, really your right thumb isn't doing so much anymore, because pretty much when you bring the controller up, when you bring it down, that's when your thumb's hitting it. So this is what it kind of looks like in slow motion. Again, left thumb isn't moving. I'm letting my right hand hit my left thumb. And then coming down is when my right thumb is hitting the button. So hit, 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 hit. Like I said, this is only useful in shorter mashing sections, just because this is definitely more tiresome to do. But if you're looking for super, I don't know, I would say within the vicinity of 20 to 30 seconds. I find this a little bit faster than, just doing this. And for short bursts of this, I find it a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, that's how I mash when I have to mash in video games. Hope this was helpful to you.